Hi, my beautiful friends. I am jumping to you live from my jetty this morning. Well, it's not live when you hear it, but you know what I mean. It feels like spring. I'm in my singlets. I'm walking in singlets again. It feels so beautiful. It's a gorgeous morning down here. And I've got family in the house, so that's why I come down here as well to get a little bit of peace and quiet to share with you. And this morning's or today's episode is something that I want to share from experience. And you might see this from two different perspectives, okay? I'm going to share with you a story that has happened recently with my son Brock. For those of you that don't know, I've got two kids. Brock is almost 19 and Riley is almost 21. And you may listen to this with the perspective of being a mother, of being a parent, and how it can help you with raising your children and helping them with their purpose and their fulfillment. Or this might apply to you. You might listen to this experience that I'm going to share, and it might help you with some guidance, with some clarity, with making some decisions that align for your heart and soul. So I'm pretty sure you'll take it both out of it as I have. And I love to share from experience because I get so many life lessons and I look at things so differently. And I see things through like a bigger lens, a different lens to most people, because I've awakened a lot more senses in myself. And this is one of my gifts, one of my soul talents. And so I like to share from experience because I believe it is the best teacher. And I look at life through the lens of not right or wrong, or not what somebody else is doing right or wrong, but I look at the lens through the lens of perspective, through the lens of what can I learn from this? What lessons can I learn from this? How can my kids learn from this? How can I help steer them on their path with guidance, with support, with not telling them what to do, which is hard sometimes, and not feeling like I as a mum know all the right answers. And that can be the same as your relationship as a parent and a child to your relationship as you and God, source, universe, higher self, whatever you want to call it, where sometimes I feel as a parent, I know best and I want to steer them in the right direction, but I have to let go of the reins, right? Just like sometimes we have to let go of the reins and surrender to God, spirit, source, higher self, because they see a bigger picture for us than what we don't see when we're stuck in the thick of things. So I hope that makes sense. So I just ask you to have a open mind and just look at life through a bigger perspective of lessons and experience from this day forward, okay? Because it's easy to get stuck in that ego of I know what's best, this is right, this is wrong. You know, if you take this step for yourself or as a kid, it's going to be a mistake. Like there's no mistakes. There's lessons, right? Lessons and experiences on how to do something differently, how to do something better, what our soul needs to. Sometimes just stepping away and going like this was for our soul's growth. Sometimes people feel like, why do I have to do the hard stuff? Why do I have to suffer? And sometimes there's a bigger picture that we don't understand, that there's bigger lessons that we came here in this earthly body to learn, to experience, to grow for our own soul's development. And so do our kids, right? So do our kids. And so what has happened this week, it's nothing bad, but this is just some big choices that I'm seeing him make. And what has happened recently, let me take you back a couple of months, okay? So I got a call up from a casting agency, a random call from somebody looking for some yoga extras in a movie they're shooting, but they can't tell you what the movie is. They can't tell you who's in it. It's just a big Hollywood movie. And I'm like, is this a scam? Like I said, I'm pretty direct. I just said to the lady, is this like a scam? I don't know whether to believe you. And she said, look, I'll send you an email with some information. I rang one of my clients who's in the movie business, and she said, yeah, babe, like that's how they work. They literally can't tell you anything because they've obviously have privacy for the stars and stuff. She said, yep, there is a Hollywood movie being filmed because they're looking for yoga extras she said it's like a spa weekend thing. And then she ended up, when she was able to, my client gave me a little whisper of what it was because she'd heard about it. But then the casting agency said, okay, this is the movie. This is what we need you guys for. And they were filming a movie like, I think it was called Spa Weekend with Isla Fisher and Leslie Mann and some big Hollywood actresses on the Gold Coast. So me, a couple of my teachers and a couple of community members who basically they just need people who can do yoga, right? So we had to fill out like a form, do like photos and stuff, and send it off to this casting agency. She picked like one of my teachers is in the movie, one of Riley's friends who's a member of the studio. She got a call up, I got a call up, one of my other teachers got a call up, and this particular Riley's friend who does yoga, and we all got a call up, but then they culled the scene, so I didn't end up getting in it. But I didn't care. Like, I just think, you know, things happen for a reason. And Brock actually filled out a form as well. And I'm like, mate, you've only been to the studio a few, like, he'd come in for Pilates, he'd do a bit of yoga. I wouldn't say he's like got the experience of some of the other community, but they were after age, different ranges of sexes and ages. And I had no young men, so I went, yeah, fine, Brock, because she sent me a list of what she wanted. So we took his photos and that and sent it in. I went, if you get called up, like, I'm going to give you a quick crash course of, yeah, a lot more yoga intensive, right? And he's like, yeah, Mum, that's sweet. So anyway, he didn't get in, blah, blah, blah. He then got a random call a couple of like 2 months later with the same casting agency. She rung him and said, look, we're shooting a movie here on the Gold Coast. It's a big Netflix movie. Big Hollywood people are coming over. And Brock was reading it all. It's like about like, it's a film of war. It's like boy stuff, right? Like filming for, it was a 1940s movie. It's called White Buzz or Mosquito Bowl. It's got kind of two names that goes by. I don't know what it's going to be called. And it's all like kind of set in the 1940s, war, shooting stuff up. If you get selected, you've got to go through like some military boot camp type stuff. And Brock's like, hell yeah. So he put his name down. I said, mate, if you want to just visualize like you can see yourself in the movie. How would you feel when you get selected? All of these things, it's a bit of fun, right? It's just a bit of fun. Go for it. What do you got to lose? And he's doing his apprenticeship with my husband's business, doing aircon, his aircon electrical and cryotherapy. So Tom installs like cryo saunas. He's done a lot of fit outs for big gyms, Total Fusion, big things like that, physios, a whole heap of businesses that want the cold chamber, right? Like, so you stand in there, you get the cold therapy. He's been doing this for a long time, like, gosh, back in nearly 10 years. So long before ice baths were a really cool thing. He's been doing this for a long time and is one of the leaders in the industry, because him and his business partner have a lot of knowledge around cryotherapy, liquid nitrogen. They use nitrogen for pipe freezing and stuff like that. So anyway, so Brock's doing his apprenticeship with our family, with Tom's business, and he's doing his air conditioning, he's doing the pipe freezing. He's really working hard. Like, you know, sometimes he has to go into a job at like 2 o'clock in the morning. He has to get up and go because they've got to pipe freeze like big commercial pipes in, say, hospitals or shopping centers, and they have to do it when things are shut down, when there's no people there. And so he's working hard, and he loves the cryo stuff. He really loves all the cold, the nitrogen, because it's different, it's unique. And he gets a bit bored with the aircon stuff, if I'm perfectly honest. And so that's where he's sitting at. So I'm like, give the movie thing a go. If you want to, it's a bit of fun, you'll learn something out of it, because in my mind, I'm thinking it's going to get him out of his comfort zone. It's going to do something that he hasn't done before. He's going to go meet new people. Just go for it. And so he had to rock up to a random place down the Gold Coast, and there was like 60 or 70 people there. I had to do a few things, do a bit of a tryout, and then he ended up, I said, visualize it, feel that you've already got a role, right? So anyway, he gets selected down to, they were after 11 Marines for this movie role, after a heap of extras, but he wanted the army type stuff. So he gets selected down to 11 Marines. So he was so proud of that. And then he had to go and do a couple of days boot camp where there's some military officers over from America, and they put them through all this boot camp stuff, training them to use, you know, all the standing, the marching, the guns, all of that kind of stuff, the fitness stuff. So he goes and he does that. He's having a great time. Then he gets a list of all of these days that he has to be available for filming, right? So it's a whole chunk of time through August, September, and October. And lucky his dad's his boss. And he's like, yep, that's fine. We'll work around it. So he's been working weekends, he's been working nights in his apprenticeship, plus also doing filming for this movie. He's had to go and rock up, and the reason I was okay with this, because I thought he's going to get out of his comfort zone, right? He's an 18-year-old kid. He's had to just randomly rock up to all these different places around the coast, abandoned railway yards, not knowing a soul. One of the conditions was they had to cut your hair too, being the military. They had to kind of, cut your hair back in that 1940s style, which he's like, whatever, shave his mustache, whatever. And so he's just had to go and rock up, not knowing anybody, not knowing where he's going, and just be so out of his comfort zone. And he does not care. He just takes it all in his stride. So as a mom, I'm like, this is great, babe. Like, this is going to get you out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to grow in confidence. You're going to have to assert yourself. You're going to learn some new skills. And it's just going to give you some experience, because all different experiences help you on your path for where you're meant to go, what you're meant to do, right? I said to my daughter, could you do that? Meaning just rock up to somewhere random, not knowing anyone, find your way there, just go and walk in with hundreds of people on set. And she's like, no, no, that would like freak me out. So, I was happy that he had to go and do that. So he's gone and been filming, coming home, having an absolute ball, loving it, doing all sorts of fun stuff, mingling with some of these Hollywood stars who, look, it's not like Chris Hemsworth or anything. It's like in their generation, people that have been like in John Wick, in some big Hollywood movies, but in their 20s, because it's based on like these footballers who are in their 20s that get called up for like could be playing the last game of their life, because then they're about to go to war. So a lot of the cast are that younger demographic. So these kids know who these Hollywood actors are. And anyway, so he comes home. Where I'm going with all this, a couple of nights ago, he had all of his availability for filming. He has to do TAFE. With his apprenticeship, he has to do a day of TAFE a week. And he gets a call up. We're out for our family's, my nephew's birthday dinner the other night. He gets a call up, said, I know you put down that you can't do Wednesday, but I really, we really need you to come on Wednesday. Can you come? And he's like, I need to talk to TAFE. This is like 7:30 at night. And the lady basically said on the phone, you're not going to be able to talk to TAFE now. I need you to make a decision, okay? And he said, okay, I'll call you back. So he's hung up the phone. He's like talking to us. He's like, what do I do? I've got to go to TAFE. But I really want to go. And I could see he was so excited, because this particular day, they were going down the main beach. This was yesterday. They were going down the main beach. They were filming scenes where they're coming out of the water with like, running on the beach, getting shot at and stuff like that. So real army kind of boy stuff. So he was so excited. And I could see he's excited. I could see he wanted to do it, but he's looking at his dad, right? Because he doesn't want to let his dad down. He doesn't want to disappoint dad. He doesn't want to feel the wrath of, because you can get kicked out of TAFE if you don't go. They're quite firm with it. And he's like, what do I do? Do I ever get sick? Like, what do I do? I said, mate, you have to make that decision. No one else can make that decision. You need to make it, and you need to feel into what's right for you. He says something to me. He looks at me, and I was having a chat with him, and I can't remember the exact words that I said to him, but he was being a bit sarcastic about something. And I said, come on, mate. And he goes, I wonder where I get that from. Meaning his dad, right? There's something he got from his dad, and I could see that coming through. I said, Brock, yeah, I know this is like a thing that's been passed through the lineage. You picked that up for your dad, but I don't care. Like, this is your life. This is your responsibility. Don't fall back on that's what dad's like. That's what dad does sometimes. Snap out of that shit and own it. And I won't tolerate that. This is your life and your responsibility. You cannot blame anybody else for traits that have come through, because he can be a bit sarcastic at times. I said, you have to do what's right for you, okay? So he rings back and says, yep, I'm in. He goes and he does the scene. He comes home yesterday, and he was glowing. Oh, before that, yesterday morning, I pulled an oracle card and I was reading this card and I'm thinking, some of this is for me and some of this is for Brock. Just like this episode, some of this is for you and some of this might be for you as a parent raising your kids, right? And I read this card and it said it was all about your fulfillment and your purpose lies in your childlike joy. What brought you so much joy as a child that hours could disappear? What brings you so much joy and meaning and fun and purpose and creativity that feels like you could just immerse yourself in it for hours without being a means to an end? So I sent Brock this beautiful message yesterday and I said, mate, have fun today, you know, like I want you to think about your purpose, because at 18, they're figuring out what they want to do. You know, like I didn't figure out what I wanted to do until I was in my 30s. And they're still figuring out at 18, and they have so much pressure from parents, from society, from school. Like you have to do these certain grades, you have to get a good job, you have to get a good education, you got to do this, this, and this. And I always brought my kids up like, you don't got to do anything, you got to follow your heart, right? And so I sent him this message and I said, I pulled this card today, mate, and it's all around what brings you childlike joy, where it feels like the time just goes because you're immersed in so much joy, fun, creativity, and it's not bringing you a means to an end. Do what lights your soul up, do what you love, follow your heart, and we will support you. You know, like we are here for you to support you following your dreams. I said it in a really nice way. It sounds terrible the way I'm saying it now, but I said it in a really nice way, right? And said, have a great day today, have the best time. And he come home yesterday beaming, glowing, like he had the best day. He was covered in war paint and stuff. And he's telling us about everything that he did and how he had to shoot these scenes running off the beach. And he said, the director will sometimes go, okay, you over there, you over there. And he got sent, he goes, okay, Brock, you, he didn't say Brock, you go over there. And he said, and I ended up standing with one of the main actors and a group of the stuntmen. And he said, we were just chatting. He goes, the stunt guys are so cool. They were telling me, you know, like as a stuntman, sometimes you can earn like, you know, you can just earn like $1,000 a day just for showing up and doing a few things. If you get selected for a couple of lines, you can earn X amount. And he was just like having so much fun mingling with these guys because Brock is an adrenaline junkie. He is the kind of guy, he's got his own ski here. We've got a couple of skis. He will just jump off. He will just go. Like sometimes we're like, mate, have you checked your fuel? Have you checked all these things? He just goes. He's an explorer. He's always been like that. He doesn't have a lot of fear. And that's part of the things that I love about him. And he will just go and meet his friends and just explore out here and just has the best time, go wave jumping, do these amazing things. And he sends me some videos and I can just see the amazing time that he's having, fun and adventure and exploring. And he doesn't strike me as a 9-to-5 kind of job type person, right? So we encourage that. And he said, I was with these stunt guys, we were chatting, and he said, all of a sudden the director goes, okay, stunt crew, your turn, basically go in the water. And then they had to run out, and he said, bombs are going off and exploding. They're kind of dodging the bombs, they're crashing on the ground. So what does Brock do? He runs in with all the stunt guys. And I'm like, Brock, like, what are you doing? Did they even know? And he goes, well, they can't tell. We're all in the same uniform. We all look exactly the same. So he's run through in the water, the stunt guys running out on the beach. Like, so he's already done it once. So this is the second time around with all the stunt guys. And there's bombs and stuff exploding and in the water on the beach. And he's like, Mum, like one went right in front of my face. You just kind of got to put your head down and there's like shrapnel falling all over you. Part of me is like freaking the F out going, oh my gosh, you could have been hurt. And part of me is like, he did what he wanted to do. He felt it to the moment. He just went with it. I've got no control. I'm a mum. I love him. I adore him. I care for him, but you can't wrap them up in cotton wool all the time. He's an adult now, right? And then Tom and I said, well, maybe, because I said to him, if this is what you want to do, you go and you talk to people while you're there. You find out, you don't go and talk to someone, talk to everybody, be nice, but you don't want to learn from the person who's like you, who's just rocking up and this is their first time. Go and talk to the people, find the people that have got experience, find the people that have done this a few times, find out how they got in, find out what they had to do, you know, if they're courses they've done, if they're, you know, like acting courses or I don't know, courses, or what have they done to get it? You find the person, and this is what I believe in life, find the person ahead of you who's got the result, ask them the most questions. You don't ask people who don't have the result, right? And you learn from them. So I said, find those people, just ask questions, babe. Just have the confidence, just go and talk to random people, say, hey, I'm Brock, like, have you done this before? What, you know? And he did. Yesterday, he was talking to all these guys, and he's like, okay, this is what the things they did, and they're rattling off all these things. Tom's sitting there on the couch, he's sharing this with me and Riley and Brock, Tom last night, looking up sun course. Said, maybe you need to go into a sun course. He's like, hell yeah. And he's looking it up, and he's like, it's like $3,500 on the coast. So that's what you have to do. It's no different to when I'd done teacher trainings. Every teacher training I did cost me between $2,000 and $4,000. A yoga one, a bar one, a Pilates one, like all these courses, you got to invest in yourself if you want to learn, right? And so he's looking up all this stuff, he's getting excited, and I can just feel in my heart that even if this is not what he's meant to do for the rest of his life, he is having a freaking good time, and he is learning, he is growing, he's getting out of his comfort zone, and there's something in this life experience he's doing right now that one could A, lead him to where he's meant to be, B, give him experience of what he's meant to do, but also C, like lead him on the path. This might not be his thing, right? But there's something in here that he can learn that is going to be a breadcrumb to on his path of going where he needs to be, or meeting somebody for what he's meant to be doing. I don't know. He doesn't know. You don't know. We don't know. But also, it's teaching him to live in the moment and follow his heart and follow what lights him up and follow what brings him joy. Now, I've been brought up in a family where my parents did the non-conventional. They're in the racing industry. They did not have 9 to 5. Dad had property. I worked from home. Like, my parents worked from home. They were always there. We were not in a conventional, like, you know, horse racing, greyhound racing. Like, we're in a racing industry. That was not the norm. And I had an upbringing and a family experience that was not the norm. That was better than the norm. It was absolutely incredible. So I encourage my kids. My dad's always encouraged us, follow your heart, do what lights you up. Tom's been brought up in a family where both have been brought up with hard work ethic, strong work ethic, but his mum's a teacher. And there's no disrespect here. I adore his mum more than anything. His family are the best. I absolutely love his family. And his mum's always been bang on about education. You go and get education, you get a good job, you get, you know, your superannuation, you get all your government stuff, you're set for life, work the traditional way we've been brought up, right? And Tom and I don't want to live like that. Like, we have a bit of a blend of both in us. So his mum was over the other day, and Brock was talking about this movie stuff that he's doing, and how with his TAFE, he can maybe not be able to go to TAFE all the time. And she thought that he wanted to quit his apprenticeship, just with a few things that he said. She's like, no, Brock, like, don't give up your apprenticeship. Like, that is your security. You have to stick with your apprenticeship. Don't quit on that. And I'm like, no, he's not quitting on his apprenticeship. He's juggling both at the moment, and he's finding his way. She's like, oh, phew, for a second, I thought you were quitting on your apprenticeship. I said, no, he's not quitting on his apprenticeship. He's doing both at the moment, and he's finding his way. And I had a chat with him. I said, mate, Nana loves you. Nana adores you. She wants the best for you. She wants the best for all of us. But she's been raised differently. It's just the generation she was in, how she's been conditioned, how she's been brought up is just different to how I think, how your father thinks, how I was brought up, and what I want for you guys. I really encourage you to follow your heart, and it might not be a 9 to 5 job. And I remember back when Brock was in about grade 10, we were driving to school. I'll never forget this. We were driving to school, and I said, what do you want to do, mate? Like, when you leave school, there's no pressure from me on what you have to do. You might not know till you get older, but what would you want to do? And he goes, I don't know. But all I know is I don't want to be ordinary. I want to be like an entrepreneur. I want to do something different. And what he means by ordinary was not bagging out anybody for ordinary. It's not saying I want to be above everybody else. He basically said, I don't want to go and work a 9 to 5 job and then come home every night and be bored and hate my life. Because there was one time in school, a teacher said, they were talking about jobs, about work, and you know, you're not paying attention, boys. You need a good education. You need to get a job that you to earn money, you know, all the school teacher talk, right? And something come up about doing what you love. And the teacher said, we go to work to earn money. Like, you know, like people, not everyone loves what they do. And Brock said, my mum loves what she does. And he said, and the teacher was like, this is a bit of a sour teacher. And he said like, oh, I'm sure, you know, that's not true. People don't like love what they do every single day. There's going to be bits of it that, you know, she doesn't love. Whatever he said, I can't remember. I'm improvising word for word. And I said, mate, that's bullshit. Like, you can do what you love. You can have joy in your work. You can feel fulfilled. But a lot of people don't take the chance to do that. A lot of people don't step out of their comfort zone. A lot of people don't take risks because it's hard, like, and it's risky, and we have to have money coming in, and we have to do what keeps us safe and secure. And that is the way we've been conditioned. Yes, you need money. Yes, you have to be responsible. Yes, I'm not discounting all of those things. But you can earn money doing what lights you up, and you can earn money bringing you joy and doing what, with every job though, there's going to be things that, you know, like I don't love every single part of my job in terms of getting up in the morning super early sometimes when it's dark. That can be a bit of a struggle. But overall, my job fulfills me and my work fulfills me, and that's what I want for you guys. And you will find that in your own way. I cannot tell you what to do. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to love on you. But I can't tell you what to do. You've got to figure that out. And I remember that chat as clear as anything when he said, I don't want to be ordinary. And I said, well, don't do ordinary things that everyday people do. Find people, learn from people who have results that you want to have in your own unique way. And I'm still juggling with the whole thing with him, with ego and soul, you know, like, he did some modeling photos because he got this shoot thing. And again, I went, just do it, get you out of your comfort zone. He had to rock up with people he didn't know, go into Brisbane and get in front of a camera and do something seriously out of his comfort zone. He had a ball. He's kind of the kind of kid that will just take it in his stride, just rock up and go, yeah, what do I have to do? And just dive in. He doesn't have that lot of fear. And he had a great time. And I could just see he had fun. And he does not want to do a 9-to-5 job. And that is okay, like that is fine. And I'm trying to teach them, don't do what we are conditioned to do. Even in school, I'm like, babe, they're programming you a certain way. Yes, you need the basics. Yes, you need to learn to read and write. Yes, you need that. But there's a lot of things they don't teach you. There's a lot of things they don't teach you about spirituality, about connecting to your higher self, about visioning and about dreaming and about having big goals and having bigger desires than what most mainstream people will teach you. They don't teach you how to get out of your comfort zone. They don't teach you how to network. They don't teach you how to have people skills. They don't teach you all the things that I'm trying to teach you. I'm like, babe, read Think and Grow Rich. It's the best book of all time, which teaches you how your thoughts become things. They don't teach you how to manifest. They don't teach you energetics. They don't teach you the spirituality. They teach you certain things, how to memorize stuff, anyway, I'm not going to go into all of that now. But my point is, if you want to learn more, if you want to be not ordinary, have different results to most people, think and learn and do what most people will never do. Get out of your comfort zone. Make it a habit to get out of your comfort zone for the rest of your life. So by him doing all these things I'm sharing with you, it's getting him out of his comfort zone. It's getting him doing things that light him up, and he's having a great time. And I will never forget that day where he said, I don't want to be ordinary. But he didn't know how it wanted to look like. He just knew what he didn't want. So when you know what you don't want, it gives you the contrast to help you know what you do want. So when all this movie stuff kind of come about, and I just encouraged him, give it a go, just try it. And so the reason I'm sharing all of this with you today is to leave with you. Find those things that light you up. Find those things that feel like endless fun or that feel like they bring you joy, and just try it. Give it a go. Explore with it, experiment with it, and see where it leads, because we can get stuck in the programming, the conditioning of I have to make a means to an end. I have to earn money. And yes, we do have to do those things. Maybe your side hustle, maybe your creativity, you're doing it on the side like Brock is. He's working, he's doing his apprenticeship, he's doing this on the side, but I can see where his heart is going. I can see what is lighting him up. I can see what's bringing him joy, and I can see what he feels like he can do it for hours on end. There's been some days filming, he's left in the morning, he's not getting home till like so late at night. He does not care because it's really lighting him up. And that's what I want to leave with you, you know, like as a parent, sometimes we feel like we need to tell the kids what we know, you know, like what we know in terms of how we've been brought up. Explore creativity with them, explore joy with them, explore the unknown with them, encourage them to get out of their comfort zone, encourage them to try new things, encourage them to feel into what lights them up and to follow their heart and soul. And also with you too. Everything that I've just shared, what about you? Maybe you're kind of sitting on the fence of you've got a calling, something's calling you, something is like speaking to you, there's something that you want to try, but you're in your comfort zone or you're in your safety net or you're in that space of, I want to try it, I want to do it, but I don't know how. Like I said to Brock, you don't need to know all the answers right now. All you have to do is just start. Dive in, try it, make an inquiry. Like I said to him, we were chatting last night, Tom started looking up, and this is a big thing for Tom because Tom's like, I've invested time into you doing your apprenticeship. Like, you know, he's kind of sitting in the middle of, I think part of him, this will sound really random, part of Tom gets a bit frustrated with Brock, like, you're not taking your apprenticeship seriously, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, like, you need to take more responsibility. And whereas Brock's a bit more free-spirited, like me, whereas there's part of Tom's soul, this is just what I'm picking up, right? And this is what you might be stirring in you. There's part of him that's angry at him because he's seeing Brock do something that he hasn't had the courage to do, or he's seeing Brock do something that he wishes he could do that he just can't because he's stuck in what he's doing at the moment. So you might be feeling the same way, or you might see this in your kids, or you might see this in your partner, you might see this in people around you, where there's part of you that might feel that bit of, where it could come up as jealousy, it could come up as resentment, it could come up as anger, it could come up as frustration, it could come up like you're attacking them or you're having a go, because you see that there's something in them that they're doing that you wish you could do, that you want to do, but you don't have the freedom or the passion or the excitement, or you don't want to step out of your comfort zone, and you're fearful because it's something so new, or you're fearful because how will I make money out of it? I don't know if I'll make money, I don't know. And you see that and you can give people a hard time about it, but they're living a life or they're doing something that your soul is wishing you could do, but your ego, that human part of you, sees it as jealousy, as anger, as resentment, as frustration, as like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that, as judgment. There's something in them that you see that you wish you could have, or you wish you could do, or you wish you could be, or you wish you could achieve. I'm telling you, if it's in your soul, if you're seeing that in them, if it's sparking something up in you, even if it's a bad emotion, there's no bad emotion, but even if it's sparking an emotion of jealousy or all the things I went through, ask yourself, why is that feeling stirring up in me? Is it because a part of me wishes I had the courage or the confidence to do that? I wish I had the money to do that. I wish I could do that. Ask the question, why is that getting stirred up in you? Because I can see that's getting stirred up in my husband a little bit, where he's on the fence, where part of him wants to see his son be responsible, follow, stick through what he's doing, but also Tom's like Googling stunt courses. He's like, mate, there's one on the Gold Coast. Like, you know, if that's what you want to do, go for it. So he's in the in-between, right? Whereas I'm like all in. Brock, follow your heart, do what you need to do. I don't know where it's going to lead. I don't know what it's going to give him. Also, as a mother, I have these fears of, what if he goes into like stunt school? What if he gets hurt? What if he gets injured? What if... So you go with all those what ifs, right? Because you want to wrap your kid up in cotton wool. Then I go through the fear of, like, my mind is, I will tell you the honest truth, is just like exploring all of these other scenarios. You know how it spirals from one thing to another thing to another thing. I'm like, what if he gets in the movie industry? What if it takes him overseas? What if, even if it's not as an actor, but in the movie industry or some way, what if he meets a girl overseas? What if he gets married? What if he has babies and he doesn't come home and my child has left me forever? And you kind of freak out. You kind of look at the what if and you look at the how does it affect me? And he could leave me, and how is that going to leave me feeling as a mum when I've got one child who's happy to settle down, get married, have babies, And I've got this other one who's of an adventurous spirit. He always has been. I remember in a kinesiology appointment that I took the kids to with Jody many years ago when they were little, she even said, I feel like he's going to be a traveler. I feel like he's going to be an explorer. And as he's got older, I've seen that come out in him, and I've encouraged him. But there's still this fear of a mum of you want to protect them, and how's it going to affect me if they travel, if they go overseas, if they meet someone and they're not close to home anymore. And we just have to let go. We're all on our own soul journey individually. We come in our relationships as marriage, as partner, as husband, as wife, as parents, as all of these roles that we carry, these relationships that we carry. But at the end of the day, every single one of us, you, me, our children, are here for their own soul experience. And it's easy to condition them the way we want them to be. We want to keep them close to us. We want to have them near us. We want to protect them. And you can smother them, whereas our gift is like pushing the kids from the nest, as hard as that sounds and as hard as it is from a parent. Even with me sharing all this with you, I feel emotional because I don't know where all this is going to lead. I don't have to know. It might lead to nothing. It might just be a fun experience for the moment. I don't know. We don't need to know. All we need to know is follow your heart in the now. Follow the curiosity. Follow the breadcrumbs. If an opportunity rolls your way, go with it, and this is what's happened. Maybe the casting agency didn't come through for me doing the yoga. Maybe it was crossing my path to lead to my son's path, or who knows? I don't know. We can't control that. All we can do is encourage ourselves and our kids to have dreams, to have ambitions, to listen to their soul knowing, to listen to their curiosity, to listen to their creativity, to listen to that knowing inside, and teach them how to trust their intuition, teach them to have the confidence and the courage to follow their life path and purpose and do what lights them up. And we need to do that as well. And the reason I'm telling you is because you could be sitting on this crossroads of exactly what Brock's going through now, or you could be sitting here seeing it play out in your children or your partner or those around you. So I just had this urge to get on and share this today. The right people who are meant to listen to this will take something out of it. This episode might not interest you, that's totally fine, but I just had a calling. I was just like, grab your tripod, go down the jetty and just record all this, because this is going to help someone on their life path or help them as a parent, because I know a lot of my demographic are raising kids and raising particularly teen kids as well, and it might just spark something in you. It might spark something in you as a parent. It might help you see the way you're parenting, or start to learn to look at things through your children's eyes, because sometimes they have confidence to do things that we don't have the courage to do, and we sit in the fear of wanting to protect them instead of just going, you know what, I have to trust that God protects you, the universe protects you, divine protects you. Whatever's meant to happen to you will happen to you, just like whatever's meant to happen to me will happen to me. All I can do as a mum is just encourage you to spread your wings and soar, and spread your wings and fly, and do what lights you up, and do it for yourself too. Because when you get out of your comfort zone, mums, you teach your kids how to get out of their comfort zone. And I've made it a mission to get out of my comfort zone in so many different ways, and I can see it impacting people around me. So if there's something you're sitting with that you're maybe a little bit afraid to do, or you're curious, or you don't know how to do it or where to start, just make a phone call. Just start with an inquiry. Just like I said to Brock, talk to people. You don't know where it's going to lead. Ask questions. And I just before I got on this podcast now, I said to Brock last night, I said, I've got a client who is in the movie industry, her kid's an actress. She knows a lot about this stuff. I'll talk to her and I'll have a chat with her. And I got this message just before I'm about to hit record. Brock's down the coast shooting right now, back on the sand on the beach, about to do more stunt scenes like this. And he goes, Mum, don't forget to call your friend today, love you. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And the funny thing is, right, so we have a boat ramp just up there, right near us. They are actually, just before he started filming, we get a letter in the mailbox saying they're filming right up the road. Literally, it's like a 200-meter walk up to where they're filming, right near our house. They're clearing land. They're putting these beautiful big trees up. Like, man, I've seen some behind the scenes, because they've been doing a lot of filming out here, where they've got, like, they've set up the old hall near their school out in the cane fields. They've got these big cranes with hanging big, like, football field lights in the middle of the night. We drove past one night, there's like 500 people, trailers, people everywhere. I go, man, there are so many people involved in this. There is so much money involved in this. And I can see all the landscaping and all the trucks bringing in dirt, clearing land on this person's property just down here where they're going to be filming. And I'm like, mate, it's on your doorstep. You can literally just walk down there, and Dad and I might cruise past on the jet ski and have a little look and suss it out and see what's going on. But just roll with it, you guys. Just explore, have curiosity, have fun for yourself and for your kids, and get out of your comfort zone as much as you can. And guess what? Trust in, I don't know the outcome. I don't know where this is going to lead, but there's a stirring in me, so I'm going to follow it. And you don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to know all the reasons. You don't have to know all of the how things are going to show up. But what you can do is trust the breadcrumbs and the opportunities that come your way, the signs, the hunches, the intuitive knowing, the curiosity, that spark of excitement. Follow that. Follow what lights you up. Follow your dreams. Encourage your kids to do the same. All right, I'm going to go for a walk and enjoy this beautiful morning before I get stuck into some work. Have the most amazing day, my friends. Sending you so much light and love, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.